What's going on, YouTube? I got a request to do the Enigmatic Assailant using some really basic units. And here's the team that I've kind of put together for it. We'll take a look at it together. The Enigmatic Assailant is currently available. It's going to be going away eventually, but we've got it available right now, so you should definitely try and get this done if you can. The rewards are fairly good. But let's take a look at the team we've got put together for it. The fight mainly focuses on doing dark damage. In fact, it's all dark magic damage. But the worst of it goes onto one target. And so what you really want to do is have somebody who can either soak up that damage through absorption or find a way to remove the imperils every time they get applied so that the buff stays in place and you can, like, resist all the single target damage. But you still also want to make sure your party can resist the AoE damage. And we're going to look at a team kind of like this. And so we're going to start with the tank. We're going to use Veritas of the Dark as a tank. Now, I know mine is EX3. You don't have to have this unit as EX3. You can get this unit with unit of choice tickets, or maybe you've gotten one over time. You know, he's an old unit, and so you could use him and it's going to be just fine. But he's got a unique ability if you look at his specials, where is it? Dark Lord. Alright. It converts all dark damage received to HP restoration. So he doesn't care how many imperils the boss puts on him. He's just going to be absorbing all the dark damage. So making him a single target provoke tank is super useful. You can do this any way you want. I threw some basic stuff on him, and that's really all he needs is just the single target provoke. He's going to be fine. But what about everybody else? Everybody else just needs 100% dark resist. You could do this a number of different ways. You could do this with items. You could do this with spells. You could do this with abilities. I'm going to be doing it with Elena. In her shift form, she's got an ability that lasts for, I believe it lasts for 5 turns. The crystal refragmentation, right? So for 5 turns, it's going to give us 100% dark resist. She's also got the added benefit of her limit burst, giving 150% demon physical killer for both magical, for physical and magical, demon and human killer for 3 turns. So we're gonna use her limit burst, do some chaining, do some capping, and then shift back down, do it again, refrag. It's gonna be slow, but the good news is with the setup that we're using, you're not gonna take any damage, and there's not a time limit on this quest, so you can take as long as you want. These two are just chaining with swords, using light damage. Ling's going to help us with a little bit of breaks and LB fill and stuff like that in the early phases. It's not going to matter as the fight goes on. And then Titus is just going to cap. I've got Titus using a two-handed sword. I've got some stuff that you can get in the game right now. Magister's Cloak, Riser's Crown, we just got for free. Some accessories from Season 4. And then just some basic stuff, an old vision card, whatever. You can equip your chainers however you want. I'm only using these two because they both do bolting strike very easily, and that's not a big deal. So let's take a look and go into this fight. This is kind of a slow clear. It's not going to be super fast just because Titus works, but he's not like the best unit in the game for this. There are better units available, of course. So all Veritas is the Dark is going to do is he's going to do nothing really. He doesn't need to do anything. He's gonna do Abyss Guard, and that's it. That way we've got protection from like paralysis and stuff like that. 'Cause the boss does do paralysis, so you either want to be immune to it or let him use his Abyss Guard. That's nice. If you don't have that and you've got Ling can do her Purifying Dance, so that's an option as well. In this case, Ling is just going to start out by breaking the boss, and we'll go ahead and do Purifying Dance too, why not? And that's really all we need. We'll go ahead and do just the light buff. Okay. And then Titus is just gonna chain. He can do whatever. Quick flash. Starlight can do a little stuff. She can do reduce light resistance. She can do, revitalizing to gradually get her MP back because she's going to need that. And then Gemini Blade. Cool. Okay, Elena is going to shift, and the most important thing she's going to do for right now is we want her limit burst next turn. For right now, she's just going to do luminous speed, crystal refrag, and protection. But we definitely need that limit burst on turn 2, which we're going to get. It's not a problem. Notice we all resist the dark damage, and he absorbed it, so we're fine. That's going to be the whole fight, basically. We're going to go ahead and shift up, and we're going to give, we're going to make sure that Elena has her limit burst with Celestial Dance. And just for the sake of it, we'll go ahead and imbue light and go ahead and do Assassin's Dance. Not needed. Okay, we didn't quite get the LB, so guess what? These two are just going to chain it up. Make sure we get that LB. Here we go. All she needs is a little bit. Give us a crystal, please. She got it. So this is going to give us the physical and magical demon and human killer for the next 2 turns where we chain, which is where Titus is going to be using his super limit burst anyway. So there you go. And Veritas can just Abyss Guard. Awesome. Good news, of course, is that this boss goes away at 50%, and we're already 3% in. Elena's going to downshift. She's going to be doing Speed of Light to do triple cast. She's going to do Sword Imperil, and then Blade of Salvation, Crystal Refraction, Super Limit Burst from Titus, and just I'm going to go ahead and use Star Supernova first. Why not? You know, Star Supernova. So we're just going to let these 3 chain. I want to make sure I have the right control here. Bear with me here 1 second. I believe it's this one. Nope, it is this one. Yes. All right. Sorry about that. Should have checked it first. So Titus is going to go ahead and launch and chain. Okay, it's gonna be slow. It is what it is. You know, we only did 6% damage, but we're gonna eventually get there. You know, you can use whatever finisher you want. Titus is maybe not the best choice, but we got it going on there. So, Abyss Guard, Lincoln Break. I had to do less damage than I expected. We did have all the stuff in place, but you know, whatever. Break. Rally. Go ahead and use Dragon Dancer just to make sure we're full. Because we will need that event again eventually. And Veritas is going to continue absorbing all the damage because that's what he does. This whole fight. Notice we are taking 0 damage. So if you have, you know, the ability to do that, Veritas of the Dark strategy, you can do that and take 0 damage too. All right, and we're just whittling down the boss. We have a little bit more time to do. We can do a little bit more here next turn, and then we have to downshift on turn 6 to refresh the refragmentation. In the meantime, we're just gonna do Ling stuff here. So we'll do Light and Assassin and Passionate. Why not? The only trick to this is you want to make sure you keep an eye on Ling's HP, because if she dies and you miss out a mission, then the missions include not dying. So just take your time with it, complete it. Get those tickets, no items, no KOs. You want the Super Trust Master Moogle for sure. We're still resisting all the damage. Super thrilling, right? Let's use Titus's. How long does Ace ability last? Lasts for 4 turns. We'll do that next turn. For now, we're just gonna chain with the chainers, because I think we have 1 more turn of dark resistance. Let's make sure. Dark resistance, this is the last turn of it. So yeah, we'll just chain. We'll let everybody chain together. And this will, you know, do a little damage. Not a ton. It'll do a little damage. You know what we could do? Let's do this. Let's do Stardust Ray instead, and let Titus use his good chaining skill. That'll be exciting, right? Change it up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Very thrilling. We're about halfway through this fight. We're getting there. Ling doesn't really have anything to do, so she's going to heal us. Refreshing Twirl. She can heal herself. That way we don't accidentally lose her. That would be bad, right? Alright, and I know he's got his super limit burst ready, but we have stuff to do. We have stuff to do. So we're going to shift Alina here because it's turn 6 and our shadow buff, our dark damage buff went away. So we're going to go ahead and do Refragment and Protection again. Alina is going to Prismatic Punishment. This is going to give her a modifier boost to her skills. Something to do, right? And Titus is just going to use his Ace ability and Quick Flash. Okay. Next turn, Alina is going to be doing her Limit Burst for the killer buffs, but we'll go ahead and do this one. And Veritas is going to Abyss Guard. Very exciting, right? Yes, it is. If we look, he's got an absurd 700% debuff to his dark resistance. So thankfully he's just able to absorb that. That is the main reason this works, is that his ability to absorb it, you know, he takes 0 damage. So he's cool like that. Alright, we'll just Bolting Strike it with these guys. And Shield just Brilliance for us. Get that killer buff in place for everybody. That's the halfway mark. Okay. And Abyss Guard. And we'll go ahead and rally. And Celestial's next turn. So we'll just Dragon Dance this time. There we are. And we're safe thanks to our tank and our Elena, who is awesome. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. We're going to go ahead and Speed of Light and Sword Imperil, Crystal Refraction, Blade of Salvation, Gemini, 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 Super Limit Burst. This, I believe, gives us limit. Yeah, this will give us a damage boost to our Limit Burst. So we'll go ahead and use it. Why not? And here we go. That was a significant chunk. We're now about 3/4 of the way through, you know, but we're not taking any damage, and that's the cheese to it, right? You can use any damage dealers you want as long as you can just absorb all the damage and protect yourself. There's lots of ways to get 100% dark resist. You could use Aerith. Cetra Descendant Aerith has a 100% buff to dark resistance in her kit. You could just use gear. You could use this Darkest Depths, I believe, is 30%. You know, there's just lots of ways you can do it. Lots of ways to do it. Let's use Stardust Ray this time. That seemed to do pretty well last time. And it's available. Let's do it. There we are. And we don't have to worry about our dark resist until turn 12, so we're fine. We are fine. We'll keep the human killer and the light damage going though, and celestial. Still sitting at 700. He's fine. He's like, I don't even care. He doesn't care. Okay. Such bad damage. You know, we could have chosen a better unit. It's whatever. I think we need breaks. Don't we need breaks? It's been a while for breaks. That's why we didn't do very much damage. We'll downshift and do some breaks. How about that? That'll help next time. Disarming. Just make sure you put the brakes on every now and then. Here we go. Super limit burst ready. Maybe this might even do it. That'd be nice, right? Limit burst damage up. And please let this fight be over. That's the end of the fight. So it took us 11 turns. Next turn, if we hadn't survived, we would be turn 12, and so we would reapply the crystal refragmentation from Alina, and then the next turn we would do her limit burst, and then we would just continue and continue and continue until we lost the will to live. You know, this is a very slow but safe method, and you can go ahead and get it done. Get him! Were you entertained? You decide. But we took 0 damage other than Ling hurting herself with her you know, her skills that do that, and then that's it. We were totally safe the whole time. And that's how you can clear that very easily and cheaply. You don't have to use Alina, you don't have to use Starlight Alina, you don't have to use Titus. They're just usable. You know, it took me 11 turns, but you know, you could use somebody better. Anybody who does good light damage. You could use Riser and you probably do better. Better than Titus, probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't feel like messing with it, but there's a good clear on it. It does work. See you in the next video, and thanks for requesting it.